Hey y'all, insight number 3 here. So we're in chapter 12 of Romans. This is talking about being a living sacrifice and what is reasonable service. Now, pretty much the first 11 chapters of Romans were leading up to this point of, okay, here's all the information, here's kind of how it works, and now I really want you to examine some critical thinking around what this means to actually live a Christ-like life. And it's, you're always going to sacrifice something for something else. There's always going to be a sacrifice in there. Now, sacrifice to this point is to them, they would recognize it as maybe being a sacrifice in a temple where there was a burnt offering. And he's been explaining to them that actually, look, Christ already did this. This is no longer a thing. You don't need to know that or do that. So yeah, it's just it's interesting. But this is part of that whole law they were stuck in and law that they're now trying to live. So he's trying to teach them in between. So being a living sacrifice, and what is that to you? A living sacrifice, it's interesting. So we're just going to look at verses 1 to 2. And then later on he goes through a bunch of stuff, but we'll cover that in the next insight because it's just really good stuff. Okay, so verses 1 to 2. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So, what is the will of God? What is reasonable service? And what is a living sacrifice? So we're going to look at those things. So, living sacrifice is basically telling us that everything we have, which we know, is a gift from God. Everything. Our wages, our houses, our cars, the clothes we wear, everything. Even mortality is a gift. It doesn't feel like it sometimes, but it is. So, how do we work with that? What does that mean to us? And what can we actually give back to say thanks? In those moments we want to say thanks, or that we want to show how appreciative we are, we can say thanks with words, but it's better to do it in deed. And he'll go on to talk about some of those things. But President Oakes related the following parable, which is in the teacher's manual. So if you're on the digital version, go to Sunday school and then come follow me. So it's not the individuals and family manuals. Remember, next year it's all going to be in one. Way better, right? But anyway, for the time being, this is where you'll find this. So President Oakes related the following parable. So a wealthy father knew that if he were to bestow his wealth upon a child who had not yet developed the needed wisdom and stature, the inheritance would probably be wasted. The father said to his child, "All that I have I desire to give you, not only my wealth, but also my position and standing among men. That which I have I can easily give you, but that which I am, you must obtain for yourself. You will qualify for your inheritance by learning what I have learned and by living as I have lived. I will give you the laws and principles by which I have acquired my wisdom and stature. Follow my example, mastering as I have mastered, and you will become as I am, and all that I have will be yours." So that's what he's talking about. I can give you all the stuff, but if you want to become like me or you want to improve on who you are, that's something you're going to have to do by yourself through experience. These are the laws I lived by that got me to where I am, that helped me find the peace and the happiness and the goodness that was in being and existing. So if you want that, you're going to have to learn that your own way and do that yourself. So, what does being a living sacrifice actually mean? So all we have was gifted from God to begin with. The only real sacrificial thing to give up is in our choice and what we choose. So the son in this parable could choose what was he going to live like, how was he going to behave, and what was he going to follow. If he really wanted to be like his dad, what was he going to do? So our choice to be not of the world, or to be transformed by renewing our minds to learn and prove that the promises of God are real. That's up to us. We need to do that and live that and learn that. So that the will of God or divine design is a great plan, even though right now we cannot see it all. We might not even see any of it, but it is a great plan. Grace is given us all. So what we do with that and our attitude in doing so is the gift back. To be a living sacrifice is to make choices to keep us on the covenant path. Sacrificing enticements of immediate rewards of the world that do not align with the covenants that we've made. And in doing that, it's hard to do. We are sacrificing things that we might want, that we might desire, but they're not in keeping with the covenants we've made and where we desire to be in the long run, in the bigger picture. So there's always going to be giving up of something for something else. So we might give up that immediate reward. You see the kids with the marshmallows, right? If you sit there with the marshmallow for 5 minutes and I come back and it's still there, I'll give you a whole bag of them. How many of them wait? Some do, most of them don't, because that immediate reward is right there. For me, it'd be easy because I don't particularly like marshmallows, so that's no problem. You know, you put a nice big bit of German chocolate cake there, you might have an issue. But you get what I'm saying, right? That's it. It's that giving up that immediate thing for a longer term thing, for a bigger picture thing. You know, like we had to wait a long time to get into the house that I'm in. I had to wait a long time to be here and work really hard to do it. And I'm here and I love it and it's really worth it. And I know that's a material thing. But what can I do to show that I'm grateful and to give back? It's the choices I make and the way I choose to live. It truly shows my appreciation. So that's what living sacrifice means. So instead of like just sacrificing an animal and going, oh yeah, well we tick the box, it's like, no, it's our choices and the way we are, because we already get grace. We're already all going back to heaven. There's no like, you can't come in thing that people think exists. No, we're already all going back there. It's just how we're going to feel when we get there. How are we going to live when we're there if we haven't already practiced that now? And to try and live like that now, it's going to be way harder. So those things, just that's that appreciation. Because what is your love language? This is obviously Heavenly Father's love language, is us making good choices or us making better choices or at least trying to make good choices. That's what he appreciates. And I think for me, that's the same kind of love language. I don't necessarily need gifts. I don't, I like some of them, but it's just stuff. What I would rather have is people make good decisions, express their thanks with words, and just show me that love by deed. That means a whole lot more to me than stuff. And yeah, if that makes sense. So I hope it does. And that's what it means to be a living sacrifice. So that's kind of 1 through 8 talks about that. And we're going to look at 9 through the rest of it for the next insight. And look at some of the ways he suggests about how we can really do this. And that applies now to ministering and to living right now. So all of it. It's great stuff. So hang around. We're going to go look at that. I'll see you there.